Hello.
Hi.
So we're gonna talk about musicals again. We're doing the 40s.
The best time for musicals, in my opinion.
And before we do, quick a recap of what. Again, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like us on Facebook. But on Instagram for some movies that we added to the collection. What did you get?
Well, since it's summer noir, I got some more noirs.
It's your turn to do it.
Yep, we take turns.
And I just got movies about war because I like.
We love war movies.
I like them. And
we like musicals and war movies.
And my classic guy of the week this week, I got Tim Holt.
And I got Genevieve Tobin, who I wrote a blog about, and the link is on the post of her.
Okay, cool. So let's dive right in.
Okay, so the first one we'll talk about, we've talked about this before for Disney, but we should give it a mention again because it's an amazing movie.
You can hear us gush about it a lot in our Disney post.
Yeah, this is more of a quick overview, as we've mentioned. If you haven't seen our last one of the 20s and 30s, we just give a quick overview of some of these movies.
Yep.
Personal opinions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Pinocchio.
I love it. It's my runner-up favorite Disney movie, as I usually mention.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful Disney film. It's exciting, it's charming, and all the characters are perfection.
Yep. All right.
Road to Singapore, the first of the Road series. We love the road movies.
Yes, love them all.
I mean, obviously the best one's Road to Morocco. And this one has more plot than the other ones because this was before they really went into zany territory. But it's still great always to see Bing and Bob together.
And it still makes you laugh, and it's still the road, just not quite not up to the goofiness of the other ones.
Yeah,
but it's still the road.
But it's still funny.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
Broadway Melody of 1940. As far as dance...
AKA the one with Fred.
Yeah. As far as dances go, this is as good of a film as you will ever find, except 3 of the greatest dancers of all time.
You almost missed the one that you always call underrated.
It's Fred Astaire, Eleanor Powell, and George Murphy. I mean, you'll never find 3 dancers dancing together quite as well as this, because the Nicholas brothers, there's only 2 of them. But also this one has an amazing array of Cole Porter songs, like I Got My Eye on You, I Concentrate on You, which immediately became a hit, which is actually sung by Bill Douglas McPhail, for you musical fans out there. And obviously the amazing Begin the Begin, which is probably the most famous part of the movie.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Fred Astaire and Eleanor Powell, they really equal each other. Normally it's one's way out of the other's element, but in this case, it's really an equal team. Down Argentine Way, which is the first of the pretty Technicolor musicals done at Fox, which really put them, in my opinion, right behind MGM when it came to making musicals, and it also made a movie star of Betty Grable,
who, she was pretty big, I guess.
She's okay, I guess.
#1 box office star, if you consider that a big deal.
It also made a star of Carmen Miranda, and it has a real great scene by the Nicholas brothers, so that automatically makes it amazing. So if you love 20th Century Fox musicals, that's the one that really started it all.
Yeah.
And now we'll talk quickly about another one too, which is actually in black and white, but it still is the typical Fox formula.
Yeah.
And period musicals, which they love doing.
And all their big musical stars.
Of course, yeah. Tin Pan Alley, which is one of the John Payne, Alice Faye musicals, which were very, very successful, very popular.
They were a big team. So.
Yeah, and obviously they have a lot of chemistry together.
Yeah.
And Betty Grable's also in it, so extra points. They sing the Chic of Arabe famously.
Yeah, yep, good sequence.
Yeah, that's probably the most famous scene from the movie.
Yeah.
And we'll quickly mention Fantasia, which again we talked about in our Disney one, but I think this is a work of Disney's genius. You'll never find a more entrancing animated film.
It's pretty good, I guess. It's great. Yeah.
You scared me.
It's great.
Quick mention to Buck's Privates.
Buck Privates. Not Buck's Privates.
Oh my god! Why did I say that?
Thinking of Kill Bill, my name is Buck, and I like to...
Don't say it. Don't. Well, anyway, Buck Privates.
Okay. Well, what about Buck Privates?
Okay, if I could get through this. Buck Privates is the most famous vehicle for Abbott and Costello. It's not their best in my opinion. I like Hold That Ghost, The Noose Hangs High.
That, yeah.
Even Keep Him Flying, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I like that
Hit the Ice, I love that one.
Yeah.
But this one is it's their typical,
the most iconic.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of made them who they are as a movie team.
Yeah.
And you have the Andrews sisters in it, and there's a lot of really, really good songs in it, so that's something. But as far as their films go, it's not as funny as you might expect, because you're going in maybe with a high opinion, having seen their other better films.
Yeah.
There's Ziegfeld Girl. From this year, 1941. I think this is one of Lana Turner's best performances. And I love glossy MGM movies where they're knowingly glossy. Especially for Ziegfeld, it really fits. They just go along with it.
It's one that actually, like, you can understand how's the gloss, just because the whole Ziegfeld connection, I
exactly.
guess. Yeah.
And there's like not a lot of period detail, to be perfectly honest, but fine, whatever. It's fun. Who cares? And Jimmy Stewart's in it, so. And funny fact, I bought that movie at the Jimmy Stewart Museum.
Yes, you did. I bought posters. I
think. We both bought posters. We got a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
We were there years ago when we were little, actually. Yeah. Well, we were in high school.
We weren't little. We were
littler.
16, that's little to you, yeah.
I was very small. We look younger than we are, Virginia. Okay, so Hold That Ghost, as we just mentioned, it's our favorite Abbott and Costello film. It has the incomparable Ted Lewis in it, so automatically the musical acts are good. It doesn't focus on musical acts as much as the other ones, but that's fine. It's
Me and My Shadows.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not like there's a lot of musical numbers. It's more focused on the plot, which is fine. The plot's fun. So
and Richard Carlson glasses.
That's everything. Yeah. I remember watching that, so I was like, I'm gonna like this movie.
and you did.
Yes.
I remember.
We're big fans of Richard Carlson, as we mentioned in the blog several times.
I remember, like, you saw it first, and you're like, Richard Carlson wears glasses, and then I'm like, all right, I'll watch it like right now.
Dumbo, my favorite Disney film. And it's I guess maybe we should mention it's getting a live action sequel, which is weird to me, and
Where's Timothy? That's what I want to know. Where's the mouse?
I don't really want to watch it, to be perfectly honest.
No, but we were talking about it because obviously we have many opinions about it, like. Also,
with it being my favorite Disney movie and
also it's directed by Tim Burton, so it's like, okay, it's either going to be better than I expected to, or it's going to be like Tim Burton's more recent stuff where it's like not very good. But,
if it was Tim Burton in the 90s, I'd be ecstatic.
But also, we were saying, like, we were talking about where's Timothy, and then we're like, oh, Danny DeVito's in this movie in a live-action part. Why isn't he voicing Timothy? Like, wouldn't you think, like, because you can't have Edward Brophy, but that's a voice that you can...
Yeah, it's still...
like, he could use his regular voice, and it would be close enough, I feel like. It would still be, like, charismatic enough.
Being the Taxi fans that we are, we would accept it. And how dare you cover Baby Mine? I'm just throwing that out there.
Because I only saw, like, the clip of it, then I was like, everybody was commenting that Baby Mine was in it because I didn't listen to it, but I was like, oh, well, maybe I should listen if Baby Mine's in it. Then once when I heard the first chord of Baby and I heard it was a cover, I was like, nope, I'm not listening to this.
That's enough.
I'm done.
All right, Sun Valley Serenade, again, one of the great Fox musicals. And this one is particularly great because it has one of the best bands of the era, if not ever. Actually, ever. Let's just say ever. Glenn Miller.
Okay, yeah.
And we have the Nicholas Brothers dancing.
The best band ever is the Beatles, but whatever.
Well, I agree with that. But I don't know. But Glenn Miller's... You were
wrong. Just admit it. You were wrong.
No, I'm not when Glenn Miller's concerned.
Okay.
But the Nicholas Brothers dance too with Dorothy Dandridge to Chattanooga Choo Choo, which is like the big scene everybody remembers from it. Rightfully so, because every time the Nicholas Brothers are there, it's automatically the best part. If you don't get it, I like the Nicholas Brothers a lot.
Which she'll never mention again in this entire, jam session we're having.
Yes, and John Payne's in it with Sonia Henney, so you get a cute couple too.
Yeah.
And now we get to one of the most unique ones of the time period.
Yeah.
Sort of a noirish musical, Blues in the Night, which is one of the best looking musicals of the time.
Yeah, it's Don Siegel's montages are amazing.
Yeah, I remember.
I would watch a whole movie of those.
I just remember the first time, and it makes you think it's gonna be like this. You think you know where it's just going. You're like, oh, it's gonna do this.
Yeah.
It does not. It will not. Like, it's not going down cliche alley. You know.
Like, I mean, it has its cliches, but not the ones you expect.
Yeah,
like you expected to
like cliches I actually want to watch. You know?
It's a good looking movie. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's like
if you like noirs,
it's really dramatic. Yeah, but yet I didn't mind. So yeah.
If you like noirs and you like musicals, and especially if you like jazz music, this is right up your alley.
Yeah, they come together very well,
and a lot of good songs. Like
the actors are charismatic.
Oh yes, so, and you have Johnny Mercer and Harold Arlen, Blues in the Night. Yep. This Time the Dream's on Me. So. What are you waiting for now?
It's called Blues in the Night for a reason. Let's just say the song plays a very
important part.
It pretty much tells the story. Yeah.
Babes on Broadway, Mickey and Judy.
Yeah.
One of their best
ones. They gotta
be
adults in this one, so that's
I know.
Nice.
And you also have Ray McDonald and Richard Quine, so a lot of talent here, and the wonderful Virginia Wilder.
Yeah. So. AKA the biggest scene stealer of them all, I guess.
She really is.
Some people consider her such.
Oh, I would not disagree.
She's up there. Yeah.
But so the cast is very, very talented, so it's completely warranted that you watch them in this kind of movie, and they're supposed to be very talented.
Yeah.
And the musical numbers are exceptionally done well for.
Yeah, they're like
musical.
Yeah, they're even more extravagant.
They are. They really are.
So yeah.
And Busby Berkeley, like always, does them. Like when they do Hold Down and the finale, those are very good numbers.
Yeah.
I can watch them over and over again. And I have watched them over and over again. I mean, Mickey and Judy's chemistry's at the best here, I think.
Yeah.
And when they do How About You, that's probably the best number they've ever done.
That's a classic.
Yeah, it is.
Where they're dancing on the tables and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun.
They're very athletic, so it really works for them.
Yeah.
And obviously they have some of the best chemistry ever because they are best friends.
Yeah.
Springtime in the Rockies is one of the splashiest, most fun 20th Century Fox musicals. This is the archetypical.
I was gonna say, yeah.
If you want the essential kind of movies that 20th Century Fox was doing, this is it.
Because it has the 20th Century Fox cast. That's the 20th Century Fox comic relief. That's the 20th Century Fox color. It has the 20th Century Fox numbers. Yeah.
And again, a special band guest, which is Harry James, who would soon marry the star Betty Grable.
Famously, yeah.
Yes, of course. And aren't we glad they did?
Well, much to Animal from Stalag 17.
I know, I think that's what I
Yeah.
And they play another hit song, I Had the Craziest Dream, sung by one of my favorite singers, Helen Forrest. So this movie naturally is catering to our interests. And it's always fun seeing John Payne sing and dance. Like, and this one really shows him off more than his usual 20th Century Fox musical.
I would watch John Payne do anything.
Me
so,
too.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to see this big, because to us, he's always a big noir guy. So it's always fun to see him sing and dance because he could do both. As Marina Harris said in her autobiography, he was a triple threat.
Yeah.
One of the most famous musicals of the era, critically acclaimed ones, Yankee Doodle Dandy. And
an AFI Top 100.
Yes. And it lives up to its reputation, to be sure.
Great. We watch it, a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes, usually, on 4th of July, we'll usually watch it. Well, we kind of take turns.
Yeah, we watch that or Born on the 4th of July.
We kind of take turns.
Our favorite 4th of July-ish movies.
Yeah. Very different movies.
Yes, but two of my favorites nonetheless. And I think James Cagney really outdoes himself in that.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great in everything, but he's
course.
especially great in
You could tell he's having the time of his life.
Yeah, it's the type of movie he wanted to make.
You could tell.
Yeah.
And everybody's good in the movie. Walter Houston, when is he not good?
Yeah.
And the numbers, very patriotic.
Yeah.
You really feel, it really moves you watching this movie.
It does.
This is Warner Brothers' best musical.
Yeah, I would say so.
Especially at the time period.
Yeah. Especially after the early 30s when they were really doing
during the war era.
Yeah.
When musicals were being pumped out like crazy because they were especially popular at this time period. Yeah. Which is why we will have a lot of movies here.
Because they're escapism and they're easy entertainment and you could easily fit the war into it, like
Yeah.
these bright, sunny,
It's kind of like
everyman characters that people connect to.
It's kind of like how like Dorothy Lamour movies or
Sure.
Maria Montez, like again, escapism.
Yep.
A big one that a lot of people today have seen, actually, although on TV, Holiday Inn. And I don't like this one as much as White Christmas, if I'm being perfectly honest, because Fred Astaire is one of my favorite people in general, and I don't like seeing him as the other man. But that
no, you don't.
No, I don't. He should never be that. And all the Astaire fans, like major Astaire fans, I know agree with me. Even though I'm a huge Bing Crosby fan too.
You love both, but you don't want to see anyone in the corner. Yeah.
And even though Fred gets Virginia Dale, I'm still like, but Fred Astaire is so likable. You can never dislike him even if the movie's trying to make you, you're like, nope, it's not happening. And it would be the same if you flipped the roles. Like, I'd be like, I can't dislike Bing Crosby. What's wrong with this movie? So yeah,
that's what I mean. You don't want to see any of them get like the shit end of the.
Yeah. That being said, it's directed so beautifully with flair. And the songs are classics. I mean, Let's Start the New Year Right, and obviously White Christmas. Irving Berlin, the arrangement of his songs are incredibly amazing, and how he makes them go with holidays. So that's an entertaining enough thing, but it doesn't have much of a plot either. So the whole time I'm just kind of like, where are my boys? I want to watch them together because they don't spend a lot of the film together. Spend a lot of it fighting. I'm like, no.
You're supposed to sing. You're supposed to dance. Where is it?
You guys were so close off screen. You have to fight on screen. Okay, Bambi, which is Virginia's favorite Disney movie. It's my second favorite, actually. We think it's the best looking one, along with Fantasia.
And the score.
The Disney films.
The score.
The best score as well.
Yes. I would say so.
So we talk more about it in our Disney one, but obviously we can't say enough nice things about it. We can't say one criticism of it, really.
Nope. It's perfect. I will. You can quote me on that.
The plot is like almost like a foreign film, and just how it deals with the coming of age thing. It reminds me of like a Antoine Daniel.
I was gonna say like foreign films, which is my
with
jam.
The deer,
so no wonder why
with
I like
the deer.
Yeah.
Okay, for me and my gal, Gene Kelly's film debut, and he looks amazing. He and Judy Garland are adorable together. The film's plot is. Well, considering it was during World War II, it's a little dramatic. It's definitely not the kind of fare you would expect Gene and Judy to be in, considering their other movies together are a lot of breezy fun. But
so you mean it's not like The Pirate?
Unfortunately, yeah. But the songs they do are very good. Like, I mean, I guess you would assume that. And they actually do period songs, which I like. I like that they kind of contribute to some more period atmosphere than the usual MGM musicals of the time. But it's just not, but I like The Pirate and Summer Stock much more.
Yeah.
Road to Morocco is the funniest road movie.
The best.
It's one of the funniest movies ever.
It is. To me, this is one of the ones I think of when I think of movies that when the first time I saw, I had so much fun. Because the first time I saw Road to Morocco, I was in heaven. Like
the next day, we wouldn't stop quoting it.
No, like the next month, probably. Yeah, we just, we would just keep talking to each other about it in school because we were bored all the time. But
there's a laugh at every minute.
Yeah.
And the songs are also good. So this is just really what
the laughs and the songs even come together towards the end with the reprise of Moonlight Becomes You, which is amazing.
And this is just really when the road movies hit their stride.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the next one's really more ridiculous, which is just the kind of comedy that they did best.
I actually, this week, this is kind of funny, I was thinking about, back in high school during our Latin class, when we had to write a song, we used, Bianca and I did it to Road to Morocco.
Yeah.
No one
You were Bing and I was Bob.
Yep. No one knew what the hell we were doing.
But they liked it.
Yeah, they liked it because, we were in sync and stuff, but except our teacher who totally knew it.
Yeah,
so
our McGuester liked it.
Yeah. Latin for teacher.
Star Spangled Rhythm. Speaking of funny movies.
Yeah, very funny.
This one is just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, if it has Betty Hunt, you're gonna laugh.
I know. She is like always, hilarious and
Yeah.
steals all her scenes.
Yep.
And the skits that they do are really, really funny too. And if that's not enough, my favorite song was introduced in this movie.
Do you want to tell them what that is?
That Old Black Magic.
As if, I mean, that's the song you can name from it, but I mean,
well, there's a lot of good songs in it.
No, there is, but I mean, what's the first one, like, that comes to your head?
But it's also fun to see your favorite Paramount stars together.
Yeah, our favorite skit is the one where, it's Franchetown, Fred McMurray, Ray Milland, and Lynn Overman as card players, and they're, like, women, basically.
I love, gender stereotypes, like, being played with for laughs.
Yeah.
That, to me, is really funny.
Yeah, same.
I remember when we first saw it, we were rolling around laughing.
We
Like,
were.
It's one of the times I think we laughed the most.
Yeah, and seeing all those guys just
I know,
do it,
those guys
funny,
you love. Like,
Yeah.
they're, like, very comically gifted actors, but still they're very manly men.
Yeah. They're still guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like Fred McMurray, you're going like, I've been shopping all day.
Yeah.
Or when the mouse comes, that skit alone is worth your price of admission.
Yep. And you also get, Big and Bob's flying insults at each other.
I love
the
in jokes with them, yeah. Yeah, very funny. And also there's the sweater of Sarong and a peekaboo bang. Yeah. That's a funny number too.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite musicals of the time, You Were Never Lovelier.
I wonder why it's one of your favorites.
Well, it has two amazing people in it. And the songs are written by, again, two of my favorite songwriters. So yeah, I guess I like it.
Yeah.
So you have Jerome Kern and Johnny Mercer doing the score.
It's one of those that you just sort of sit back and watch and you could just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And Fred Astaire said Rita Hayworth was his favorite partner. And Rita Hayworth loved working with Fred Astaire because she actually got to dance, really show off what she could do.
But she didn't say he was her favorite. No, I mean, it was probably Glenn, but yeah.
Well, yeah. But she said to me, I remember her saying, like, to me, Magic is the movies I made with Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
So there was a real mutual respect there.
Mm-hmm.
And their dances together are lovely, lovely. So the next one we'll talk about is the last John Payne and Alice Faye combo, but their most successful probably, the one that people really remember today because of the song in it, really.
And because The Shape of Water did it. More people will see it. So.
Hello Frisco, Hello, which has You'll Never Know, which won the Oscar for Best Song. And it's a period musical. It's a remake of Werner Baxter's King of Burlesque, which also had Alice Faye in it. But put in a period atmosphere, and it just kind of has a similar relationship in how he marries a society woman, but it's not too similar. So, like Fox, they like remaking the movies, but they still take liberties with them. So it's a delightful movie, I think. And Larmont gave like 2 stars. He's way too hard on it. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with it.
Would you say it focuses on like the main romance more?
Yeah, a bit more. Yeah, it does.
Just because, I mean, it has John Payne and Alice Faye. You kind of have to. Yeah.
Because also, during King of Burlesque, it was, like, one of Alice Faye's first.
Yeah.
So, 20th Century Fox musicals.
And she's off-screen during a lot of it.
They weren't really focusing on her as much as they were focusing on Warner Baxter and Jack Oakey. And, and the special guests, because they have a lot of special guests now, like Fats Walter, famously, and Kenny Baker.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, it's a totally different kind of style, really. And also, it's in color, so it's one of their best looking films, certainly. Cabin in the Sky. Oh, and I also want to say it's also like Nob Hill with George Raft and Joan Bennett and Vivian Blaine. I like that one a lot. But it's still different. Cabin in the Sky is based off a stage play, which interestingly enough, the 2 most famous songs from it were not in the stage play. Taking a Chance on Love and Happiness is a Thing Called Joe. This movie's it has an interesting plot because it's based off a stage play, so it definitely has to have a real actual plot. But the most interesting thing of it is the cast, really.
And also, it's Vincent Minnelli's first film.
Yes, it is.
That's pretty important.
It is, yeah, and it's and we associate him so much with color that we forget some of the few black and white movies he did make.
Yes, like The Clock, which isn't a musical, but it's great.
It's one of our favorites. Yeah. And another all-black, all-star cast film is Stormy Weather, which was done at Fox, despite having Lena Horne in it. I like this. I like the special guests in this. Like, the plot's really nothing really.
Like
but
usual
I was
musicals,
gonna say,
guess.
like, there's some, but it's not like it's so different from other musicals of the time. But the numbers, my goodness, because you have Cab Calloway, Fats Waller, and the Nicholas brothers doing one of their best dances. So that alone is really why we're watching it, and the film like pretty much almost knows it, I think. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Best Foot Forward, another one based on a stage play, which in the stage play I know it was Lola Lane in the Lucille Ball part playing herself, and here's Lucille Ball playing herself, so that's funny. And it is a funny film, and it's also famously known for making stars out of June Allison, Nancy Walker, and Glory DeHaven. And again, the songs are pretty good. And fun fact, you can spot Stanley Donen during this film. All right. Now we get to a lot of the big wartime all-star big cast musicals that were made to show servicemen over the seas and the home front people. And one of the famous ones that a lot of people remember is This Is the Army. I think it's particularly because it's a film stage play, because this was actually a play, and it was their way of filming it so they could show it to more people, because obviously some people are away at war, they can't see the play. And
a lot of them were pretty busy.
Yeah, so, understandably. And you actually get to see Irving Berlin in this movie. He wrote all the songs. It was his play. And you got to see George Murphy and Ronald Reagan play father and son, which is very interesting. George Murphy, unfortunately, doesn't get to dance so much because he plays someone who's injured. And also, he's not in the play. They just needed some actors in the movie. So it would be kind of weird if he was suddenly in the play.
True. But at the same time, you're wondering, like, you got George Murphy.
I know.
He's not dancing.
I know, like one of the finest dancers of the time.
Like, you could have just gotten any old actor and just said, he's a dancer. Oh, okay, I believe
you. But the Harlem number with Joe Louis, that's the best part of the movie. One of the funniest ones of this type is Thank Your Lucky Stars, which stars Eddie Cantor, Dennis Morgan, and Joan Leslie. And Eddie Cantor makes fun of himself. Like, I've never seen people make fun of themselves as much.
It's real self-deprecating.
It's really funny, though. He does not care if he's making fun of himself, but it's much to our enjoyment. So while I'm sure I know the plot's not much, but it's funny. It's actually funny.
It's an excuse for Eddie to make jokes about himself, and it's funny.
And the special guest appearances are great.
Really good. Like, you have Betty singing, They're Either Too Young or Too Old, and Errol singing.
That's what you jolly well
get. I mean, Betty Davis and Errol Flynn. I did not specify which Betty and Errol I was talking about.
Well, I think it's that for Warner Brothers. And Ann Sheridan sings Love Isn't Born. It's me, and I love her voice. They sometimes dubbed it, and they had no right doing that. You get to see Alexis Smith dance, because sometimes we get to see her sing, but we don't get to really see her dance, so that's nice. And she's a very good dancer. They should have made her dance more. So it's also a great way to see Warner Brothers talent really go out of their element to musicals, because Warner Brothers is not very well known for the musicals.
The whole movie is just them doing things they normally wouldn't do. So it's worth seeing in that regard.
So it's real, again, a nice movie to sit back and watch, and it's patriotic, but not over choking you patriotism.
And the songs are catchy.
They are very, very good songs. Girl Crazy, which is the best of the Mickey and Judy musicals, critically.
We gotta talk about this one after we talked about the shitty remake.
I know.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, when we were talking about the shitty remake,
we talked a lot about this one then. But
because we were talking about it on Riff Raff, and we said everything this one does right, the other one does wrong. Yeah. We're like, if you want to watch an actual good one, watch this one again.
Why would you remake it then?
Why would you do this to yourself? It was based off the 1930 George Gershwin musical, so you get to hear the George Gershwin songs actually intact in this one, and they're actually sung well by Judy fucking Garland and Tommy Dorsey.
People who their voices actually match the songs.
I know. And I love the Treat Me Rough number with young June Allison. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. So it's also really funny too.
Yeah.
They really let their supporting cast shine.
Yeah, and in this one, Judy's annoyed with Mickey, so that's funny instead of the other way around.
Yeah, and their chemistry once again is great.
Yeah.
And the final Busby Berkeley number to I Got Rhythm is a real showstopper.
Yep.
CoverGirl at Columbia, which is their most famous musical of the time period, because they brought Gene Kelly from MGM to be in it, and he and Rita Hayworth, again, she finally gets to like really dance with someone who really knows what they're doing. They have amazing chemistry,
and Gene dances with himself, so
that's probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, what's better than one Gene Kelly, two Gene Kellys?
That's my favorite part of the movie, along with one of my favorite songs, Long Ago and Far Away. Which is Jerome Kern and Ira Gershwin, if I'm not mistaken. So, and then you have Put Me to the Test, a lot of good numbers. The plot, again, nothing much, but with Gene Kelly...
you've seen it before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with Gene Kelly and Rita Hayworth, it's, like, way better than it normally would be under any other circumstance, I think.
And the supporting cast is Phil Silvers and Eve Arden, and all these, like...
Two of the funniest people ever. So yeah, it's something one I think a lot of people will be watching for a while because of the cast, but it really keeps you with the numbers and the beautiful color. It's Columbia's definitely most beautiful musical of the time period as well.
Yeah, the color looks really good.
Yeah, it does. And Two Girls and a Sailor, the film that officially made June Allyson and Van Johnson big stars at MGM. It's kind of MGM's answer to Thank Your Lucky Stars, but with more plot and character than all the other ones, really.
It has guest stars, but it's not like they're getting, like, Robert Taylor and, all these, like,
they're
big
actually getting
MGM
musical stars.
Yeah, they're getting musical people. Well, I mean, there's Gracie Ellen, too.
Yeah.
She, like, isn't a funny musical
number,
is. So, yeah.
And it's not really an excuse to show numbers. They actually have a plot to keep showing interest.
But at the same time, like, why this movie was made.
Yeah, I know, of course. But I think it's it has more legs to stand on than the other ones, even though like the musical numbers might not be as memorable as That's What You Jolly Will Get. It's still they're still pretty damn good. Like Lena Horne sings Paper Doll, which I think is the best musical number of the movie. You also have June Allyson famously singing with Harry James, the young man with the horn, and Jimmy Durante sings Inka Dinka Doo. So that's worth your price of admission there.
Yeah.
Oh, a big one. Going My Way, which won Bing Crosby the Oscar and it won Best Picture.
And it won Barry Fitzgerald Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, yes, it did.
Yeah. It was pretty big. Even though it really only has 2 songs in it.
Yeah, it's not a musical in the traditional sense.
No, yeah.
Even though you have singing stars in it, like Bing Crosby and Risa Stevens. Yeah. But it really makes you happy watching it.
Yeah, it was a movie that brought everyone's spirits up, and it's still, like, when you're down, it still bring
really
you
does,
up. Yeah.
And I love seeing Bing Crosby interact with the children.
Yeah.
I think he was very good at working with children in movies.
Yeah, he was. Definitely.
I think he liked doing it, too. Mm-hmm. And the children actually like working with him.
Yeah, based on everything
you hear the kids
you hear that it seems like that was the case.
Yeah. The film that made Danny Kaye a star in his film debut, Up in Arms, and how could Danny not become a star? I love Danny Kaye, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's great.
Well, yeah, how could you not like him, I guess? And this was his first Samuel Goldwyn musical as well. Yeah. And you have him with Dinah Shore, who has probably her best role she's ever done.
Yeah.
And you also have Dana Andrews in it. This is because he also worked with Goldwyn a lot.
And should we mention our favorite part of it?
Tessa's torch song, the dream number of it, where it's Danny and Dinah Shore. It's like a Hepcat number, zoot suit number.
Like they're kind of like speaking jive.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and they're wearing zoot suits.
Yeah, it's just it's awesome.
I know. Like this is the number where like, yes, this is what made Danny a star. Yeah. Another one of the most famous musicals of the time period ever, too.
Yeah.
Meet Me in St. Louis.
People still know this one. If you don't know movies, you still know this movie.
And damn it if it doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, the songs are catchy, the color's nice, the
plot is charming as charming can be.
It's naturally charming. Yes. Like it just like it bursts with all its charm.
This is the film that made Vincent Minnelli.
Yeah.
And he's one of the true great directors of musicals and great directors ever, I think.
Yep.
And Judy is at her best here.
She gets to sing some of her best songs.
She does.
Too, so.
And And at first she didn't like making this movie, although you can't tell, but she later liked it. The movie itself won her over.
As it could win anyone over.
And it made Margaret O'Brien a star.
Yep, she won a special Oscar.
She did.
Juvenile Performance Oscar.
Hollywood Canteen, which is like Thank Your Lucky Stars, which again is like Stage Door Canteen, but with the Hollywood Canteen, and it makes sense for Warner Bros. To do it since it was founded by John Garfield and Betty Davis.
That's the movie will show you, yeah.
And so this one again has a wonderful array of guest stars. A hell of a lot of guest stars, actually. Sometimes you have to rewatch it over again to take everyone in. But I like that, actually. I like spotting people.
Me too.
And the songs are great. You have Roy Rogers singing "Don't Fence Me In" for the first time.
Yeah, with Trigger like on the stage.
That's one of the best parts of the movie, if not the best part.
I think that's at least also because it's the first time people heard that song. That is, it is one of those parts that you're like, oh wow, like not only is it cool, but people heard it for the first time.
And you later have it reprised by the Andrews Sisters, which is funny because they would later do a famous version of it with Bing Crosby. So, yeah. And like I said, I like spotting people. Like when I watch like Stage Door Canteen, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta spot everyone. You want to watch it again so you could see if you make sure you didn't miss anyone, and then you look up the cast. You're like, where was that person? I need to go back and watch it.
Because they come at you so fast, and they're like...
they do.
And there'll be a bunch on screen at once, and you're like, oh, okay.
The next Danny Kaye musical for Gowan was Wonder Man, and we love this one. I know this is like your favorite Danny musical.
Yeah, I like it.
At the end, Danny does like this opera spoof, which
the best.
Is so funny. And I love the double role that he has of like a meek twin brother, being twins ourselves,
and he's good at playing both because like both are like, I mean, Danny has played both on the screen, so like it's both extremes are parts that Danny's very like familiar with embodying. So
and it's his first time working with his best leading lady ever, Virginia Mayo.
Yep.
So.
Unless you count like her background appearance and stuff and ours, like it's funny watching it.
You could see her during Tessa's Torch song.
Yeah, you see her a couple of times. Yeah, you're like, oh hey Virginia.
It's because they wanted her to have a partner, but she didn't think she was ready, so they gave her some lines so she could have something.
And then she did.
She did okay
for herself. Yeah.
Rhapsody in Blue. This one was a flop in its time, unfortunately, because I think it's better than a lot of the songwriter biographies because it actually has some truth to it. I mean, it's still highly fictionalized, but I think it really shows George Gershwin's passion for his music. It really just shows that he's happy just playing songs with his friends. Like, he really loved music. Like, even though there's girls around him, the love of his life is his music. And I like how it shows his working relationship with his brother. And it plays the entirety of Rhapsody in Blue by Paul Whiteman's band, so you can imagine what it must have been like when Paul Whiteman first played it in the 1924. So that alone is awesome. And I like Robert Alda, so. Anchors Away, one of the really big MGM musicals of the time, and the one people still remember because it has Gene Kelly's famous dance with Jerry the Mouse, which is a musical legend.
It's almost like it's a landmark. Like, yes, animation and live action have met before, both in the short cartoon and in live action films, especially since animation was used a lot for special effects. But the way it's used for a musical number here where they're perfectly in sync and they're like
and
playing
for a whole
off each other.
Number.
Yeah, exactly, for a whole number, and like where you can't see cuts and like how Gene will be holding Jerry's hand and he'll be like Jerry will be on his leg as he spins around.
They danced with a cardboard cutout of Jerry so to help Hanna-Barbera, and they said he was very nice working with them. And he later used them again for Invitation to the Dance where they do a whole segment together. So it's interesting seeing this sort of real technical achievement in musicals. And also, if that's not good enough, you have Frank Sinatra in it singing such great songs as I Fall in Love Too Easily, which was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah. It's one of those things where after you see it, you'll be talking about the numbers. You won't be talking about the plot or anything, but you'll like the numbers.
It's pretty funny, and its heart's in the right place.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. Like, it's a musical plot. That's what I'm saying.
State Fair, which is a remake of the 1933 Fox film, is Rodgers and Hammerstein's only score that they wrote specifically for a movie, and it stars Gene Crane and Dana Andrews, who actually could sing, but they didn't know that. So, and then you also have Dick Haynes and Vivian Blaine. So very good cast. And the songs are amazing, obviously.
Because they're Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Yep. And the color is beautiful. It's a happy musical, and it makes me happy watching it, and I don't have any criticism of
It's
it.
the Will Rogers movie with songs.
Yeah. Do not want to see that. Okay, now we get to a better one. Yeah, Virginia's is showing her distaste.
I gave a thumbs down.
Siskel and Ebert style.
Yes.
Duffy's Tavern. We talk about
Ew.
this. We didn't talk about Riff Raff yet, but we have a blog Virginia wrote on it.
Yeah.
Talking about our experience riffing it. And the best part of this movie is Bing Crosby. Okay, it's Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
Obviously. Are you shocked that he's the best part of it?
Yeah, like anything in the, like, he does sing, like, Swinging on a Star, but it's not as nearly as good as the one Going My Way.
Yeah.
But, like, the best parts are where Bing gets to be funny, which are very brief and not in it very much. But, you know, when they come, it's like, oh, thank you for giving me something.
Like, there's one part when they ring his doorbell, and the doorbell is, like, love and bloom, and he's, like, so full of himself, and it's showing his life, and he's, like...
it's kind of funny.
Like, when he's in college, and he's, like, a freshman over and over again. It's funny.
Like, probably the funniest part in it is when, Bing's magazine... A magazine cover with Bing on with Bob on the cover is right next to one with Bing on the cover, and Bing moves it so his face is covering Bob's. Like that sort of pettiness of, you know, it's funny to me.
But everything else that's just funny because Bing's funny.
Yeah, and it only takes up 2 minutes of the movie.
It wouldn't be funny if really anyone else is doing it. Like, it's not the lines themselves; it's because Bing is naturally a funny person.
Like.
And there's so many stars in this. You do not notice any of them. They just show them for like a second, and I'm just like, wait, that was
me too.
Barry Sullivan. Yeah. Like, oh wait, no, he's an actor in this. But I mean, you know, that was Perry Fitzgerald. Damned if I know. You showed him for a split second.
Like, they don't get to do anything. The ones that
like Arturo Kartova didn't notice him in this movie. It would be nice to see.
I saw him for 2 seconds. I was like, oh hey,
I didn't even know he was. I was like, wait,
he's Swinging on a Star.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people there.
That's how most people come in this movie, because they.
But it shows him for a split second.
It tries to like do Star Spangled Rhythm, but with but with the radio show of Duffy's Tavern.
Which does not translate well to
none of it makes, like, I don't know what this movie was trying to do. And, whereas in Star Spangled Rhythm, the skits were really funny. In this, they were insulting.
And the plot was actually pretty funny in Star Spangled Rhythm, too, because you had Betty Hutton and Eddie Bracken, who are naturally hilarious.
Yeah. Like, with this one, and we'll talk about it more on Riff Raff, but, there's one with Alan and Veronica Lake, who I love, deeply.
We bow down to them.
Yeah, you can see on my top 10 film noir couple list, I put them as number 1. Yeah. I like them that much, but they, there's a part that, I like what they're doing with, where they're, reading a script and they think it's real. That part's fine, but there's a second sequence with them that, oh my gosh, it hurt my feelings.
Yeah, and we won't spoil anything too much. We'll talk about it on Riff Raff someday.
We will.
But as Loudon Lake fans, you have offended us.
I am offended.
Yeah.
Pistols at Dawn,
This movie offended me. And then they walked in on Pollock Goddard in the shower. Yeah. That's not funny.
Show me where this movie touched you, because that's what this
Burgess Meredith's gonna come beat them up.
That was a joke we had. Yeah.
He should have. I would watch that.
That movie would have gained a star.
Okay, the Harvey Girls. Yay, finally good one again.
Yeah.
After that low note, here's a high note.
One that's actually fun and enjoyable, and the funny moments are funny.
Yeah. Darling cast, too. Yeah. And John Hodiak, we love John Hodiak.
Yes.
So, he's fun to watch.
He's underrated, and he's handsome.
Yes. And then there's the Oscar winning on the Atchison Topeka in the Santa Fe.
Yes.
So, that part's awesome, and Ray Bolger's in it. Who doesn't like Ray Bolger? So a very, very enjoyable musical,
Yeah.
one that's impossible not to have fun watching.
It's the Western musical before Oklahoma made it to the screen, so
Mhm.
yeah.
Road to Utopia, the other great road film.
Yeah.
This one is out in the Klondike.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of risque jokes, like in Road to Morocco.
Yeah.
They take them a step further here.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did they get that past the censors?
I don't want to spoil the ending for those of you who
Yeah.
haven't seen it, but the ending joke is one of the funniest things I ever like how to
Yeah,
end a movie.
no.
It's perfect.
Ziegfeld Follies is again kind of like the all-star reviews, except this one is in the tradition of a Ziegfeld show, but it's clearly made for post or war audiences. So you have a lot of a mixed bag like anything like this, but what's there that's good is really good. You have Judy Garland doing a spoof of Greer Garson in a skit that's supposed to be the Greer Garson actually. And she wanted to do it, but the song got too hard. And then you have Fred Astaire doing a lot, such as This Heart of Mine, which became a hit. And you have him dancing with Gene Kelly, which is unfortunately Gene Kelly's only part in the film, but who doesn't want to see the two great film dancers dance together? You have Lena Horne singing Love. So yeah, there's a lot to recommend it, certainly. And I like Virginia O'Brien's number, that she's always funny. So if you like plotless musicals, I do, then I think that one's definitely an interesting look. Okay, next story, the Jolson story, which was a huge musical and they really revolutionized biography on film. It actually has some truth to it because they couldn't tell the whole truth because they didn't want to get sued, obviously. Like the character based off Ruby Keeler isn't called Ruby Keeler, but we all know she's Ruby Keeler. And Larry Parks does an excellent tribute to Al Jolson. Like, it's not a caricature. He actually plays, like, he doesn't go over the top because it'd be so easy to go over the top,
especially with
like
Jolson.
Yeah, exactly. But he gives it a lot of respect, and you get to hear a lot of Jolson's numbers actually sung by Jolson too. He provided his own voice because it's kind of hard to disguise a Jolson voice, I think. And so it's a very entertaining musical with a lot of great period charm. Song of the South, now we get to.
Which we talked about in our Disney podcast. But so instead of diving into the controversy here, because we kind of did that with the Disney podcast, let's just kind of talk about the songs, I guess.
Yeah, you have two great songs, Zippity Doo Dah and Everybody Has a Laughing Place.
Yep.
And they love...
Ones you all know, even if you haven't seen the film. Yeah, like everybody knows those songs.
Everybody has a laughing
place,
a
laughing place to go ho
ho. And the animation is beautiful, and they mix it with live action wonderfully. The color is beautiful as well, considering that it hasn't been restored. Yeah, it's still an incredibly good looking movie, and the animation is absolutely charming.
Yeah.
Disney clearly put their all into this movie. It was really started it all in the trend of live action films, which are obviously fantastic. We're huge fans of their live action films.
Yeah, that's a good way to introduce it by mixing it with animation. So, like, you can take the step in, but you have one foot where, people thought you should have stayed, which is also what they did with, like, the, Saludos Amigos.
Yes,
those type of films.
Three
Caballeros, how they sort of have one foot in. But this one, they're getting closer to live action. They're leaning more towards, like, we really want to do this.
Yeah, the other ones were kind of wartime good neighbor policy things.
Yeah.
This one's more of a, like, actual plotted movie.
Yeah. It's, and
it's a good plot.
Yeah, it is, but, like, so I think it's important in that regard that, they really are taking that step. Like, yeah, we're known for animation, and, we will still do animation, but we really want to do movies, like, live action movies, so can you let us do this?
Yeah, so they kind of just...
And it was, like, the audience accepted
gradually went there, It's funny how at first they're like, you can't do a live action a full-length animated movie, then so you can't do a live action movie in an animated place.
Yeah.
When will you stop? When does it end? We get to Betty Grable's most successful movie, Mother Wore Tights, which put her with her perfect co-star, Dan Daly. And this one is, again, centered on period, which Fox loved doing.
Yeah.
It's a period piece, and it's actually funny. She and Dan
Mhm.
Daly have amazing chemistry. They both are the similar style of dance where they really complement each
And they
other.
both. It's because they both like are lighthearted
They
and they
are,
don't
yeah.
take themselves too seriously.
Mm-mm.
So yeah.
Yeah. And she's like kind of little and he's so lean. It's
Yeah.
kind of it's fun seeing them together in that kind of contrast. Good news. This was like one of my all-time favorite movies when I was like going into high school and when I was in middle school going to high school.
Yeah.
I watched it like every day, I'm not kidding.
And then when you went to college, you were like, "Why isn't this like good news? Damn it, no!"
I was very upset.
Raw, raw, raw college.
Well, I wish it was something like that, but
I don't think it was ever really like that.
no,
but yeah.
in my dreams.
I think it was always the way it kind of is.
It's an incredibly entertaining, colorful, slashy musical. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of college musicals out there. This is definitely the best of them, I think.
Well, I mean, because its competition is so tough.
Which Fox did a lot of those, and theirs are entertaining. But Good News is actually a good movie, as well as a good musical.
And it has, good numbers, good dance sequences.
Yeah, you have Joe McCracken and Ray McDonald, who are two fantastic dancers. Didn't make as nearly as many films as they should. Particularly Ray McDonald. I did a blog on him, and I think he's super underrated.
Yeah.
And Peter Lawford and June Allyson have great chemistry. Incredibly likable leads. The songs are good, and you have the amazing Mel Torme in it too. So, and that was my introduction to Mel Torme too, and I'm very grateful for that. Now, the pirate.
So
the pirate stars Gene Kelly and Judy Garland. And they are fantastic in this movie. I love their chemistry in this movie. It's bright and colorful and fun, and a tribute to Douglas Fairbanks.
Very colorful. Yeah.
By Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
But it's also incredibly sexy.
Yeah. Gene is clearly a big Fairbanks fan, which I know he was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's a whole black pirate.
Yeah. Like,
tribute.
I mean, his like, homage is spot on.
I know. Like, he even looks like him.
Yeah. And
a little more trim, less like muscular probably, but still, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I love watching Douglas Fairbanks movies, so I liked the tribute.
And so it's fun seeing that.
Yeah, they both get to be really funny. So that helps. Like, I mean, and Gene and Judy usually got to be funny, but they're like almost slapsticky in this, so I thought that was funny.
And Minnelli's direction, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Romance on the High Seas. I was singing Back the Flag.
It's going to be in our head all day now.
Okay, Romance on the High Seas made a star out of Doris Day. This is a delightful little musical, too. Warner Brothers wasn't really on top with musicals because basically they just had Dennis Morgan, and I love Dennis Morgan. But they didn't really have anyone else, and then along came Doris Day and later Gordon McRae.
Dennis had to carry all that weight.
He did, poor thing, because also he was not just making musicals.
Yeah.
But then along came Doris Day.
The very thought of you was not a musical. God is my co-pilot is not a musical. Yeah.
And the very thought of you might be actually my favorite Dennis Morgan movie.
It's the best.
Yeah. But and then we later got Gordon McRae and Gene Nelson, which the three that made a lot of movies together. But so Doris Day kind of saved Warner Brothers and the musical unit, and finally they also
made her mostly stick to musicals, whereas Dennis Morgan did everything. Yeah. I mean, Batman in Missouri isn't that your favorite Dennis Morgan musical? Well, anyway.
Yeah, he made quite a bit of westerns. Yeah, and a lot of I like his westerns a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. But it's funny because it's like, oh, Dennis, you can do what you want, but Doris, no, you gotta stay in musicals.
But this one's most delightful. I like the mistaken identity plot. Being the Fred and Ginger fan, of course I do. And the amazing Janice Page doesn't get a sing. I don't think they're really knew that she was as great of a singer as she was. Yeah, she plays someone who can't sing, actually, and then that's silly. I'm like, honey, you're one of the best singers ever. Okay.
I don't dance.
Yeah, exactly. And she would later be in the pajama game, which Doris played on the screen. So funny enough. But you gotta see Doris with Jack Harson, and she sings a lot of good songs like It's You or No One, It's Magic, the biggest hit of the movie, and Put 'Em in a Box. All three very good songs. Easter Parade, the film that brought Fred Astaire out of retirement, thank God.
For like he was in retirement for what, a year?
Yeah, 2 years. And there was
yeah.
a petition signed by like 10,000 people to get him out of retirement. I guess, yeah. And Judy Garland.
Mission accomplished.
This is also Judy Garland's first film in a while, too, because she had Liza not too long before this, yeah. So it was a kind of a comeback to the screen for both of them, interestingly enough. And it was supposed to be her with Gene Kelly, but Gene Kelly broke his leg, and they're like, well, maybe we could get Fred Astaire retirement. That's automatically the only other person who can possibly be in this movie, and thank God they did it. And the Irving Berlin score is on point. Like, even in the background, you get to hear some great Irving Berlin songs. So that's really enjoyable.
And it brought Fred to MGM, where obviously probably, even though like his most iconic musicals are probably made at RKO with Ginger Rogers, I think like, most people think of MGM and Fred together.
They do, yeah, because he ended up working there for a long time, and yeah, he, like you said, he is really associated with MGM a lot now. Yeah. Because he would make some of his best movies there.
Yep.
And Easter Parade's one of them. Okay, Neptune's Daughter is Virginia gave it a thumbs up. This is one of our favorite Esther Williams films. I like all of them, but I love Esther Williams, and I can't stress that enough. This one is my favorite, along with Dangerous When Wet. We'll get to that one next week. But she's with Ricardo Montalban. Who doesn't want to see that?
Yeah.
And you get to have Red Skelton and Betty Garrett, who are hilarious.
Great.
Like, it's actually a really funny movie, too.
It's great that they put them together, like, as the funny beta couple. I mean, it adds an extra layer to everything. And
it famously has Baby It's Cold Outside, which has
not
been
a Christmas song.
It's been misused because the irony is it's not cold outside. She just stays like, oh, it's a good enough excuse. Sure, it's Ricardo Montalban. And they sing it most charmingly, too. They got to use their own voices singing it.
Yeah.
Because Esther... This was like one of the first times she really started using her own voice.
Which sounded fun.
I know. I don't know why they ever dubbed her. I like her voice.
Well, also, like, when they dubbed her, it sounded exactly the same to me. So it's like, why even do it?
I know. Either sounding exactly the same or nothing like her.
Yeah.
In the Good Old Summertime, a remake of A Shop Around the Corner with Judy Garland and Van Johnson.
An actual good remake.
It is, because they stay true to the plot, and yet they add their own little flavor to it.
Yeah, it definitely does not feel like you're just watching The Shop Around the Corner again.
And it's also a period piece, too. And you get to have some charming little period songs, which is always fun. And the final one we'll be talking about today, the big one.
Good one.
One that really revolutionized musicals.
One of them, probably the most iconic musicals of classic Hollywood.
Yes. On the Town.
We've seen this a lot.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's
fun.
It's so funny. Yeah. This is such a funny movie.
And it's fun. You just sit back and you enjoy it.
Yeah. Everyone's cute in it. Yeah. Having a good time.
Like, you could just tell everybody's enjoying themselves.
They are,
and you are enjoying yourselves watching them.
All the songs are incredibly delightful. You gotta have Gene Kelly do a dream ballet, which would later become like his signature, because he do an American in Paris and Sing in the Rain. So it's just an incredibly watchable movie. And
it takes a simple plot and it makes it work.
And they filmed some of it on location, which was very rare at the time.
Yeah, and it looked like a nightmare to do.
It did. Those actors are good troopers, I must say. Because they did New York on it, like, actually in New York.
Yeah, you could see everyone's feet.
Yeah, and people are like, oh my god, it's Frank Sinatra!
Yeah, because everybody had to watch them.
Yeah, because they're not used to filming musical numbers in public, so naturally people see these big stars
places,
and they want to watch them. So yeah.
not many people are at like Rockefeller
Yeah.
Center and things
It's
like
not really
that.
noticeable. It's only once when it's pointed
Yeah.
out to you, which
Once you see it, you never.
it's the only time I mention it. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, now I see it every time. Alrighty. And we also, we didn't mention this at the beginning, and we should have. We did our blog this week because we're doing actor retrospective, so we're really doing like three different blogs,
Mhm.
like on a weekly, monthly basis, I guess you could say, yeah. And we did our first actor retrospective, which is just us basically talking about an actor's career
And how we like them.
yeah. And we did it on Dick Powell for Summer Noir.
Yay.
So yeah.
He's one of our favorite tough guys.
Yeah, he's
as we
great.
mentioned.
Yep. Alright, so okay, what to recommend this weekend? I recommended one that a lot of people have seen before, but TCM was playing a lot of movies I already recommended, so I recommended Mr. Planning Spills His Dream House, which if you are like the one person who still hasn't seen it, you should. It's funny.
It is funny. And
Myrna Loy.
yeah. And one of her favorite co-stars was Melvin Douglas.
Yep.
For this weekend, I recommended for one of the musicals you're playing, Let's Make a Love, which was one of Marilyn Monroe's last films, and she's in with Yves Montand. Oh boy, don't we like him! And he gets to sing, yay! But if you like Fox musicals, it's sort of a riff on the Avenue plot, and it also has Tony Randall in a funny supporting role. So how do you not want to see that? And then the other one I recommended was Mr. Lucky.
This is one of the first movies I think I recommended when we started the vlog.
It's with Cary Grant and Lorraine Day. It's a cute romantic movie with a little bit of drama in it, and it inspired the TV series later.
And a little bit of comedy.
Well, I said it's a cute romantic
yeah.
movie. I think
you
it's
didn't
implied.
Say comedy, though,
It's funny. It's a funny movie.
I mean, you have Cary Grant knitting. That's what we're seeing.
Now that song's stuck in my head, Mr. Lucky. I love that song.
I still have Mac the Black in my head, so.
Like the Caribbean.
We'll leave you on that. Have it be stuck in your head. And make sure to, if you are on social media, you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram or like us on Facebook. Alright, have a good one.
Bye.